Hello, all. This is Dr. Dave Maslach talking to you about reciprocity.com. The E is written with a 3. And in this particular video, I want to talk about whether all PhDs are professors or all professors are PhDs. So if you don't know me, I'm a professor of innovation strategy and entrepreneurship. I have a PhD. And this is a question that some people have when they're thinking about university or whether they're thinking about becoming a professor or something along those lines, or just general questions about that. So what I'd like to point out is that no, not all professors are PhDs. There's lots of professors that don't have a PhD, and but the vast majority of the ones that do, and there's kind of different kinds of professors that are out there. So there's things called adjunct professors. These are people that have industry experience, or maybe they are working at another institution and then they go and teach at that particular university at one particular university for a course. And so you'd be considered, maybe it's a visiting professor or an adjunct professor, somebody that is just doing one course or a couple of courses, or they're just kind of they're not part of what's called the tenure track. So every university has a tenure track, and the tenure track, and most schools have a tenure track as well, even high schools and stuff like that. I've since learned, and what it is you have to meet certain requirements to belong to. Basically what it is it's a club, right? And if you have these requirements, and it's usually based on like research, teaching, and service, then you can go and belong to this club, and then you get what is called tenure. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't be fired from your job, but it means that you belong to this club and they welcome you into this club. So coming back to, are all PhDs or all professors PhDs? Well, to get the professor designation in terms of this tenure track professor designation, a lot of universities, not every single one, but a lot of universities, particularly ones that are research oriented, and these are the ones that you know about, right? So these are the famous ones that if somebody mentioned where it is, they're not going to say, what school is that? They're going to recognize it right away. And those are the ones that require generally a PhD to become a tenure track professor. And it definitely will vary in terms of the institution that you're at, right? So the tenure hurdle is going to be lower. So you might not need a PhD at some places, but most places you will need a PhD, or what is called a terminal degree. So a terminal degree can vary, and it depends on what you are interested in, or what your research area is, or whatever you're interested in, right? So a law degree, for example, it might be considered a terminal degree. You can get a master's in LLM sometimes, which is like a master's degree in law, and that might be considered the terminal degree. And then you're going to become a professor at that point, and you're going to be teaching at a different institution or whatnot. Or you can get a JD, right, which is the terminal degree there. It's not necessarily a PhD, but it allows you to get into, teach at a research institution or a university that's going to allow you to teach. So it varies, but the vast majority of the people that are on tenure track, the professors that are on sort of a tenure track, they will get a PhD, and they will sort of do that route to get tenure, and that's kind of the traditional way that you do that. And the reason is that a PhD trains you to become a researcher, so you understand about research, and you learn to develop papers, and write journal articles, and eventually become journal editors and stuff like that. And it allows you to go into those. It just allows you to do research, and so it's a great degree for the tenure track requirements, because most of those schools that you've heard about are very research oriented. Even the ones that you haven't heard about are research oriented. So there's going to be a push towards a PhD, and this push, this sort of hurdle, it's been getting increasingly more sort of rigorous as we go, as sort of time passes. So the hurdle gets more and more every single year. And that means that more and more people are going to require a PhD to get a tenure track across different universities. And as well, the sort of what's required of you, research publications and things like that is getting tougher and is increasing over time. So hopefully this answered your question and this makes a lot of sense. Anyways, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up and and I do appreciate if you do subscribe to the YouTube channel. All right, take care. Bye.